gets in, lads? Welcome back to the Info Podcast. My name is Elijah, and I'm with Andres per usual. CONCACAF's October international window is coming up later this week, so we're going to give you guys a little bit of a preview as to the teams playing, the games, what this all means and whatnot. Before we get into it, though, make sure to leave a like if you're looking forward to this window. Leave a comment down below which team or teams you guys are going to be watching. Make sure to subscribe for more CONCACAF content as well. So, first of all, Andres,
Yep.
let's talk about
Hit me.
which teams that the viewers should be looking out for, which teams you might be looking out for in this one in particular. Number one team, at least, that you're going to be paying attention to.
Oh, well, I think the biggest one is Mexico versus the United States, specifically when I focus on a game. But I think in terms of games that matter, obviously Jamaica. I mean, they're actually playing for something in terms of the Nations League. So in terms of actual games that matter, in terms of something, it's definitely Jamaica. But in terms of on the big spotlight, definitely Mexico. Specifically Mexico highlighted just because of the implications involved in this game that has been put on by the Federation. And honestly, all fans, U.S. and Mexican. So I'm gonna have those two highlighted for me personally.
Yeah, without a doubt. I mean, obviously that's probably the biggest game in the entire region going forward, or at least in this next coming week or two. So definitely pay attention to that. Not a lot of writing on it statistically or technically from a certain point of view, but it does mean a lot in general. It's Pochettino's first one of the first times that the USA have played away in Mexico in a long time. Both teams are coming into it in an interesting state of their country. So very, very good game to watch. If you can watch it, it's on Tuesday. If you can watch that, make sure to do so. Obviously, yes, you said Jamaica playing for something. All of these teams in the Nations League, I think it's really, really important to watch those games, even if you're not a big supporter of them. I really do think you should watch them because at some point, if you're a USA, Mexico, Canada fan, at some point these teams will be facing off against your teams in some capacity. So Jamaica, 100%. That whole group consisting of Jamaica, Nicaragua, Honduras, Cuba, French Guiana, and Trinidad and Tobago. At least the top four of those teams pay attention to because it is still rather tight. Nicaragua could do something against Jamaica. Honduras could do something against Jamaica as well. There's no team besides Jamaica. I think Honduras is very interesting. Group one, obviously, you have Costa Rica, Guatemala, and Suriname. I'm going to keep a keen eye on Suriname because you're only sitting 1 point off the top two. Oh. And Suriname is a team that I have long held as going to be one of the next big, like Jamaica-esque teams.
Put money on
forward. I wouldn't yet. But they're in a similar boat to Jamaica because they are looking to get a lot of dual nationals, and they do have a really interesting link to the Netherlands. In the same way that like Indonesia does, they are able to get a lot of dual nats over there. So I know they're going to pick up some soon. So Suriname, definitely a team to watch for sure, as well as Jamaica, as well as Nicaragua, all of those. But those are really good games. If you actually want to watch games that mean something, that matter, that are not just friendlies, not saying the other ones don't, but definitely watch that. Another team, though, Panama. Panama is a team that they're not playing. Yeah, they're not playing like normal like games that mean anything. They're just playing friendlies. But Panama is definitely a team you need to watch because they're playing against the USA and Canada this international window. Probably the top two teams in the region currently in terms of form, somewhat.
Unfortunately, yes. I will agree with you.
Amongst other things. So that technically that's going to be the first game for Pochettino is against Panama, actually, not the Mexico one. Mexico's the biggest
real
game. First real test is against Panama, and if Panama are able to come out and show and do something against the USA here, that'll be really huge.
A dub, a Panamanian dub. That's what I'm expecting.
Wow, dubs are crazy. I mean, we remember the Copa America.
No, I'm just messing.
No offense, Panama. Remember the Copa America, and Panama did show up to play against the USA, obviously. Timothy Weah did have a stinker of a red card there, but this game is going to be really interesting. And not to mention the game against Canada, it's really going to show where Panama is. It's really going to show where Panama is in relation to the rest of the region because, the past half year or so, we were talking about USA, Mexico, Canada, a lot of Jamaica, obviously. Panama and Costa Rica in particular don't get a lot of love in general. Panama in a weird spot where they're not in that top three, but they're not lower than fourth or fifth. They're in that weird
gray
spot.
Area.
They are in that gray area. They're in the area that Costa Rica have been in for the past, decade or so. But Panama is they're slowly rising. They're a team to look out for, a team that not many people notice, but it's time to notice them. Because in the same way that the rest of the region is growing, so are Panama. So this game against the USA, these games against USA, Canada are going to be really, really interesting. I'm curious to see how these teams also rotate against Panama because I don't think they're going to feel their strongest teams. I think Canada will, obviously, because Canada is playing
Only
Panama for their only friendly.
whack,
This other
so
friendly.
whack.
Yeah, I think you might as well schedule another one if you can, but
Low key,
whatever.
this international window for like CONCACAF in general, and besides like the Nations League games, like is actually like kind of like whack in terms of they don't know what to do in this window because it was so close to last window that
It's true.
they're like I don't like Mexico specifically. We're playing Valencia,
Yeah,
like not even an
that's so
international
random.
side, just Valencia. We're just playing Valencia for fun,
Yeah,
and then the United States, and then they're like, oh, you know what? We'll bring like not our A squad. We'll just bring a makeshift, and then it'll be our farewell tour too. So it's kind of like
yeah,
they just filled it in. It was a slot to fill in, so they're like, we'll just do it. Might as well. Honestly, they
yeah.
should have brought just Liga MX players at this point, and personally, just because it seemed pointless based on the matchups. But I just want to
Right.
make that point that it seems like for CONCACAF specifically, because everyone else got the World Cup qualifiers going.
Nations League,
For
and
CONMEBOL, no?
around the world. Yes.
And
CONMEBOL
then
does qualifying.
and then UEFA's got their Nations League going on, so they're actually playing for something. And then
Yep.
CONCACAF, and then
Asia has the World Cup qualifying right now
World
too.
Cup qualifying too. So everyone has something except CONCACAF in terms of their big teams. Literally have nothing going on because they're hosting the World Cup, which makes sense. But it's just kind of seems like a lull in terms of this window, unfortunately.
Yeah. And that's why I say if you have the chance, if you have Paramount Plus, watch the other games, watch the Nations League games amongst these smaller CONCACAF teams because they deserve some light to be shined on them. It's fun games to watch. Might not be the best football in general. It's very scrappy, and sometimes the
WWE baby
and
MMA.
but it's fun. It's fun to watch. So if you get the chance to watch them, at least at the very worst, the Jamaica Honduras game is going to be a really really good game, I think. But yeah, you're right. I mean, a lot of teams are just that in between state. So because and Panama are grouped in there, like we've been talking about. They are grouped in there. A lot of teams are playing games that matter, but these teams kind of just going with the flow, really, because they don't really need to care a whole lot until beginning of next year, once the Nations League quarters and semis and whatnot. That's when CONCACAF gets into the nitty gritty. But right now, it is just a little funky. Makes you really wonder why there isn't a national break right now. But otherwise, still, I think still some good games to be played.
Yeah.
Here overall, we are going to do a match preview for the Mexico Valencia game, which again is so random, and for the Mexico USA game. So if you guys are still watching this and you guys want to access that video, make sure to subscribe now. But yeah, gonna be a good one. Are there any surprise results? I mean, I think for me, a result I could see happening, and I don't want it to happen, or not that I want it to happen, but I don't know how it would shake up the environment. Is Panama Canada? I think Panama are going to really play well against Canada for some reason. I just feel like it. I think Canada's been riding.
You got a gut feeling.
I have a gut feeling Canada's been riding this good success and momentum for a little bit now. Not to say they don't deserve it because they absolutely have been a really really good team. But for some reason, I think Panama's going to show up here and really show that they deserve to be in the conversation too, because they do. They do. It's going to be tight. It's going to be scrappy, but that is a game on the same day as the Mexico USA game. So I don't know. It's before. Maybe I'll watch it. But I think that game is going to be a surprising
interesting
one.
Selection. I was going to say Honduras, Jamaica.
Okay.
I thought the last time they played it was a pretty evenly contested match. So
yeah,
and arguably, Jamaica squeaked by on that one. One could say, "Don't hate me, don't hate me." I'm just saying there's an own goal and a penalty. Don't get me wrong, my boy Antonio scored. Come on now, but I'm just saying. But I think in terms of that could be a surprise result. Could change up the group a little bit. Hold on, let me take a look at the standings real quick in terms of what
Jamaica's number one. Jamaica and Nicaragua are on top with 4, then Honduras right behind with 3.
But that an upset like that could shape up the group a little bit, find a little bit of contention. I'm just saying.
Yeah, no, it's like I said, that's definitely one of the games to watch if you can, because that last game was interesting to say the least. I mean, I think Jamaica are the better team than Honduras, but that's the biggest issue with Jamaica recently is that they don't play like it. They don't act like it, despite having this individual quality and adding more in Mason Holgate. Despite having all this quality, they don't really match up to how they should be playing. I think it's about high time that they start kicking it into gear, and to do that would be 6 points in this window, especially against Honduras. But you're right, that last game against Honduras was scrappy. It wasn't on goal. It wasn't
pretty.
A penalty. It wasn't pretty. 3 points are 3 points. Don't get me wrong, but
good teams find a way to win.
Exactly, exactly. And Jamaica need to keep that going, but at the same time, they need to start getting these wins, you know, confidently and
Yeah,
strongly and whatnot. Because once they start playing the big teams, USA, Canada, Mexico, Panama, even, I think they could do something. And they almost did something last year, but it's still a little iffy. I'm still waiting to see what's going to happen with them. But that definitely is a good game to watch. I like a lot of good games to watch. A lot of good games to watch going on this one, despite the lack of one could say importance. Still some good
seriousness,
ones.
one could say.
Yeah, I mean Friday, Suriname play Costa Rica. I think it's another good game to watch if you want to watch more, more football outside of the big teams. Suriname Costa Rica is a good one. I think Costa Rica is gonna win that game, but Suriname, like I said already, team to watch for me. If you're not paying attention, Suriname is definitely a team to watch.
And as Elijah
Um,
said, definitely put money on it because he clearly said
no, no,
that,
no,
and
no,
I
no,
think you really
not the
should.
game. No,
No,
hold on
no,
now,
no,
hold on now.
yeah, no, no, no,
No,
no. I'm
don't put
pretty
money
sure
in
he
this
said
game.
that. Yeah, yeah, put money on that game.
I was talking about the future. I was talking
Over
about the
under.
future of this game. Suriname do have a lot of injuries and are not bringing a lot of the best players. So
Oh,
it's gonna be fun. But
now
if you're
put
gonna put
money on
money
it
on it,
anyway. The
no, no,
bet
no.
the odds are gonna go crazy if they win. Just think about it. Think about it. Think about it.
That's a good point.
It's not in their favor. So honestly, you don't lose. I mean, yeah, you're gonna lose something if you do lose, but you know what I mean.
Right.
Like if you win, the payout's gonna be crazy. So
All right.
don't be an addict though, and
Wasn't me. It was
don't take
Andres. Remember
gambling
that.
advice from us.
What?
But that's okay. You
It
know what?
wasn't me. It was. Yeah,
Your
absolutely,
body, your
absolutely.
choice, your decisions. Don't blame us.
um, after these results, do you see the region shaking up a little bit at all? And
I
in what
think
way? With what results?
I think if there was a shakeup, now if we're talking a big shakeup here, I think it would be Mexico beating the United States in some capacity. I think if it's a pretty good display from the Mexican national team, in terms of like a dominant win, not like a blood or anything, but it's kind of like okay, like they dominated the game, they controlled it. I think that would be like a statement and a half, maybe a half a statement. We'll say a half a statement, just
Yeah.
because like it's not the United States. It's not their full squad. It's still a good squad. Mexico is not their full squad, but still a decent squad. Not really well compared to the United States, but I think that could change up the region. Maybe if Panama beats Canada, depending on the team Canada fields out there, maybe that could change up the perspective on Canada and Panama at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
But obviously, Canada are top in CONCACAF at the moment, just the form they're in. Uh, but yeah, I think that one, and then maybe it just kind of depends on how Panama does with these two games against Canada and the United States. I think if they're able to squeak by with a draw, maybe two draws, or maybe one loss, one win, maybe one win, one draw. I don't see them obviously not winning both, but there's a chance. There's always a chance.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
I'm gonna say, yeah. Sorry,
No,
I
no,
was
no,
just,
no, no. Finish it off. Finish it off.
I was just gonna just recap. Just I think if Mexico wins, I think is gonna be the talk. Just talk for a little bit, just because it's you know two powerhouses colliding, and then the United States has been on top. Literally, they won every single matchup for the past couple of years. So I think. Hey, I heard the enjoyment in that laugh. You don't have to
Well,
enjoy it
yeah,
that
it's
much. Anyways,
just interesting. Just interesting.
but I think that could be a shakeup. Do I think it's gonna happen? No comment. Not gonna say. I'm gonna say that for the preview. But I'm just saying. Just giving my hypotenuses. I know it's called hypothesis, but I say hypotenuse because it's funny. But yeah.
Yeah.
Anyways, back to you.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, there are some shakeups that could be had here, and there are plenty that might not be had. We could leave this window not having changed anything, but I do think there's going to be something. I think, like I said, Panama earlier. I think if Panama show up twice against the USA and Canada, even just good performances, not a win at all, or even a draw, as long as they play well, I think people are going to start taking note. I think people need to start taking note. So I kind of would like for them to do that. So definitely one shakeup possible. Another one is that there is a good chance here that I think that the USA kind of reasserts their position in the region as
Impossible.
number one. As number one, it's very possible because, and so CONCACAF, nobody cares about the CONCACAF rankings. If anything, you care about FIFA rankings, and that's it. CONCACAF released the rankings.
That's
And they put,
borderline maybe if you care about
yeah,
FIFA
maybe.
rankings.
CONCACAF came out and said that USA are number 3 in the region, and that's just
Yeah, hold that.
like
Hold
no.
that.
In my opinion, it's stupid. It's stupid because that's going just off the last few results. USA or if you're saying and you look at both teams and really compare both teams, USA is still not number 3. But I think once once USA beats with the automated editing and cutting with AI on Riverside here, it might cut that whole L out. Just so you know,
Damn
I'm
it!
not changing it,
Ah,
and I'm not changing it. Anyways,
Riverside, I'm talking, so keep this in. Hold that out.
USA against Mexico might reassert the dominance there. I mean, if USA beats Mexico, yeah, obviously Mexico behind USA there. You can say that. That's definitely one of the biggest ones, and I think if they get 2 wins, 2 good wins in the region in the window, they'll be back to number 1 in the region. For Canada though,
Watch it be
like
a 0-0 draw.
it could be.
It's the most boringest game ever.
For real. For Canada, win or loss to Panama, I don't think it'll shake up the perception of them a whole lot. Like we said, it's just a friendly. If they lose, it's not the biggest deal in the world. It's not going to. The opinion of Canada is not going to come crashing down. They're still going to be a top 2, without a doubt. If they win, it's just going to be more of the same. So nothing crazy on that one. But for Panama and USA, I think this is really important. And obviously, you said Mexico. This window is really important for Mexico. We'll talk more about that Valencia game and the USA game
They
in those
better be
respective
Valencia
preview videos.
Doctors.
But I know, but this is really important for Mexico. And if it's not a good window for them, that's really bad. It'll be really bad. We'll talk more about that as we move along. So make sure to subscribe for those videos. But also let us know who you think this window matters the most for in the comments down below. Because yeah, despite these games not really meaning much, there's no World Cup qualification, no Nations games for these teams. It's still important, to some extent, for the overall image of these teams in the region, and you kind of have to have a good image, whether you deserve it or not. You have to have a good image. So definitely important to watch. But yeah, I mean, unless you got anything else to add on dress that isn't going to be in the next other videos, then I think we can call it
No,
there.
I'm gonna keep it quiet, save it.
Okay, we got a lot to say. We got a lot to say for that Valencia game too. But if you're at this point in the video, make sure to leave a like if you enjoyed watching it, and you will be watching some of these games. Make sure to subscribe for more CONCACAF content over the next 2 weeks, next 2 months, next 2 years, whatever. We're gonna have a lot for you guys. Make sure to, like I said, comment any opinions you have about our opinions or about this window in general. Otherwise, hopefully, we'll see you guys in future videos. And yeah, take care, guys. Have a great day.
Peace.